I plan to do a few vids tonight. We'll see how that goes. But when Keir Starmer, we've got the gayest parliament in the world now. A number of people have covered it. Blah, blah, blah. And even, what was it, Sky News Australia, I'm sure, many other people. We've got the gayest parliament in the world. I don't think there's any parliament that is gayer than this parliament. Oh, I don't know. Have you looked at the Scottish parliament? I remember I did a vid on a channel that no longer exists a number of years ago, and at that time, pretty much the main players in every single party was gay or bisexual. I think in relation to, Reform, it's still the case. And I'm sure there was somebody else previous to that. Look, all I said at the time was, it seemed to be a much higher percentage of senior ranking gay politicians than was representative of the Scottish population at large. And when you consider that, how motivated and incentivized are they to cherish and nurture traditional Western family values when so many politicians these days, you can see, absolutely demonstrably see, an attitude of do what thou wilt. If it feels good, do it. Which goes back to Crowley's OTO and all the rest of it, yeah? I mean, just type it in, Baphomet, and have a look. I mean, there's an awful lot more going on there, but think about this. While we are essentially being invaded, yeah, and those coming in, many of them who do not wish us well, and could you imagine, for example, I don't know, Birmingham, possibly, Bradford, possibly, him standing there and saying the following.
Really proud that we've got the gayest parliament. I don't think it's just of all time anywhere in the world. I don't think there's any parliament that is gayer than this parliament. Really proud that we've got the gayest parliament. I don't think it's just of all time anywhere in...
Honestly, could you imagine Churchill, for example? I mean, look, background, apparently a druid, and, more of a history that most people are aware of, but trying to pull that one, excuse the pun, to these fine, strapping young lads and men going to fight for and country, many of them not to return. Do you think that kind of conversation would have inspired them to risk all, and in many respects, in many instances, give all for
Really proud that we've got the gayest parliament. I don't think it's just of all time anywhere in the world. I don't think there's any parliament that is gayer than this parliament.
Just remember, I'll repeat, if so many politicians cannot even relate to bringing up children, I mean, he's got children, but, there's an awful lot of marriages where, and I'm not saying it's his as an example, but where, consummation maybe isn't quite the amount. I mean, I'm in the UK. I'd love, in some respects, to be in a more Americanized situation of, Second Amendment, all the rest of that. Yeah, fair play to you guys. Well, it's still there. But yeah, when we have got vastly declining birth rates, and yet, demonstrably, especially in the Scottish education system, it's the promotion of do what thou will, and if it feels good, do it. And it's constantly indoctrinated into them. And we wonder why we have such low birth rates. How people cannot see this as part and parcel of it. Look, you're gay, fine, and daddy. But you know what? Only in the 80s. Up until about then, right, honestly. Places like Edinburgh, nobody cared. Nobody was interested. Nobody wanted to know. Nobody wanted to hear if they were a fucking vegan, gay, bisexual. You know. I mean, there was people you knew, friends, blah, blah, blah. It might have dropped the point. That was it. All right, okay. Have fun. But none of those lifestyles were the dominating factor in the, you know, as part and parcel of the indoctrination of children from quite literally nursery school age to, you know, I've always said, allow children to have their childhood, climb trees, play with their friends, genuinely. Just the innocence of going about on bikes and you knew when the lights were coming on, you come in for your dinner and all the rest of it. And I know some people would say, oh, that could never come back. Well, you know, it's like, if we're analysing where things started to go wrong in so many ways, I mean, this is absolutely textbook, ultimately population reduction of, let's be honest, Western races who historically have been the most intelligent, the most productive, no matter what class, grafters, all the rest of the intellect, blah, blah, blah. And we're just pushing sexuality and do what they will, right through from nursery through to and ongoing. It's just, I personally don't give a shit if you're bisexual or gay or straight. Just get whatever you do work-wise and all the rest of it, just get the job. Do the job. Not, promoting any of this pish. Well, there is no straight. No, I mean, imagine straight pride. They'd be, oh, that's Hitler. That's Nazism. Imagine the mindset that we've come to, that we've got to. Demonize anything to do with traditional family values. Let's also promote bigamy, as long as you're from the right country and background and all the rest of it. Have multiple wives. Treat them like shite. Even though in Western society we've demonized men into the ground for even saying a hurry word or anything to women. The absolute insanity of bringing in cultures who absolutely do not share our Western values. And these people that you see before you are promoting, do what they will. And I'll repeat again, could you see this guy pulling that in Birmingham, Bradford? Yeah, and just see a crowd of Muslim people. All right. We are the gayest parliament in the world. And I'll speak to you soon.